This evening's class is a happy hips class. So yes, the clue is in the name. It's going to be very themed around the hips, the pelvic bowl, the abductors, this kind of powerhouse, this heavy part of our body. And what I would say is I reckon happy hips are not only nice and mobile hips, but they're also strong hips too. So this class is going to be a little bit of a combination of some little functional mobility exercises, some asana borrowed from yoga, some yin. It's going to be a nice big soup of different things this evening. So hopefully there'll be something in there for everyone to enjoy and to benefit from. Still, I always like to start class just by reminding you and also myself that yoga is always your personal practice, okay? I want you to respect, love, and nourish your bodies this evening. So whenever you feel like resting, please do rest, even if that's for all of it. You can modify. We all have very unique bodies, so make sure that you're kind of making those changes and choosing the options I give you that feel really good for you. If you're not sure how to do that, you can always put your hand up and ask me. And yeah, similarly, whenever you need me, I'm very friendly. Don't be afraid to put your hand up. I'll come over to you discreetly, and we'll see how we can make this feel good for you, okay? All right, so with that, we are going to get started seating on our bolster this evening. So you can just move your bum to the back of your mat and have a sit on it. If that's not so nice for your knees, you can also just lengthen your legs. You can kneel beside it if you like, but just lift your pelvis higher than your feet. That's usually quite nice. And then together, let's just take a big breath in, squeeze the shoulders to the ears. Exhale, drop them down. And we'll close down our eyes. Lengthen the head a little bit taller towards the sky. And then take a moment to arrive into your stillness, to come towards yourself this evening, and to arrive into this space if it's new. Enjoy just a few moments of quiet. And you might already be there, but I'd like to invite you to start lengthening your breath. Just letting your belly be nice and soft. And expanding it. Maybe allowing that breath to travel from the belly up through the ribs and into the chest. And as you exhale, reverse that journey. Follow the breath as it leaves the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Enjoy that nice ocean breeze coming in from the window. And as we lengthen this breath, and fill our body with that nourishing air, I'd like you to have a little scan of your body. It changes day to day, sometimes moment by moment. So just say good evening to it. Notice how you feel this evening. You can even have a little wiggle to help you work that out. If there's any places of tension or tiredness, maybe little injuries you notice, whether they're old or new. Greet all of that with kindness. There's no right or wrong way to come to your practice. But also, maybe notice, maybe if you've been surfing, there could be newfound places of strength, mobility, energy. And speaking of energy, that's the last thing I'd like you to have a look at for now. How do you feel energetically this evening? And is there any emotions attached to that energy? Any feelings? Sensations maybe? Now, as I mentioned, I would love for you to nourish your body in this practice this evening And that all comes from making those choices for yourself. And now that we know how we might feel physically or energetically this evening, I'd like for you to set your sankalpa, that's Sanskrit for your intention, or like a promise to yourself. It could be the reason why you're practicing this evening, or maybe how you would like to approach your practice. How would you like to show up for you? It is personal. I'd love for it to be heartfelt. Maybe it's I am releasing judgment, or I am enough because I have arrived to practice this evening. But find yourself that sankalpa. We'll take a last few rounds of breath and just roll it over in your mind. You're promising it to you, sealing it into place. It is the foundation from which all of our movement will come this evening. So knowing now that as we move forward, we start to focus a little bit more physically. That breath and that intention is where we move from. And if ever you feel your mind's maybe wandered off too far, you can always guide it back to this long, smooth breath, following it, and guide it back to that sankalpa. But together, let's take a final deep breath in through the belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhale. Just start to gently blink your eyes open, slowly take in the light, maybe take in the room or your neighbors. And we'll get started. We're going to drop the palms out by our sides and take an inhale to scoop those up overhead, touching the palms together, making that little connection. Exhale, bring that down across the chest. Let's do that again with the breath, dropping the palms. Inhale, scooping the arms up. Exhale, palms down across the chest. Last time. This time we're going to open the palms, and as those hands come up, we're going to spiral the wrists, turning them forward, squeezing the fingers. You can make a little fist. We will use our hands a little bit today. This is very flamenco, I know. But enjoy it. Maybe feel beautiful for a moment. Join the palms. And let's take a breath out to bring that down to the chest. Open the hands. Reverse that circle. Go the other way. Maybe flexing the fingers this time if you did fists last time. Just enjoy a little moment. Have that beautiful hand movement. Join the palms. Exhale, let's bring that down to the chest. You can press your hands onto your bolster and let's just pop our bum off and onto our mat. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together to touch. Yeah, so just shift that bolster off behind you. Grab a hold of your ankles. I love doing this. I think it's super nice for the pelvis and the spine. We're going to use those arms and hands that we just warmed up to lengthen the spine. Take a breath in. On our breath out, we're going to bring our heart space, our chest, our forehead over our feet. Then use your hands to guide your whole body around to the right. We're heading in a circle. And when we get to the back of that circle, curve your spine. You can really hang on to your ankles. Tuck your chin to your chest. Come all the way to the left. And back over your feet. Keep going in that same direction. And you can even shift your pelvis a little bit as you explore that circle. You can keep it nice and slow. Filling it with the breath. And when you feel ready to, At some point, you can change the direction of that circle. And you can really play and shift your pelvis as you move. Use those hands to be your anchor and the thing that moves you around this circle. Maybe noticing how much expansion you can find in the back and in the pelvis there. Now the next time that we come round in our circle and our heart space and our head lands over the top of our feet, we're going to stay here for a while. There's a few options. You can stay with your hands on your ankles. You can wrap them around your feet. Or it can feel nice to take your forearms underneath your shins with the palms facing up. Take a big curve in the spine. Drop the back of the neck. Maybe even close down your eyes. That's not what I wanted. You can use that little bit of resistance under your shins to maybe gently encourage your heart space a little bit closer towards your feet. And this is a gorgeous moment to notice how much that breath can actually physically expand you into space. Really fill the back with that breath. Maybe even imagine sending that breath to the hips. I'll take an inhale and an exhale to release and start to make the journey of untucking your forearms, starting to uncurl the spine. Let your head arrive last on top of your spine. Beautiful. Take your fingertips behind you. We're going to take the feet hip width distance apart for a moment. Just really lazily let those knees drop from side to side. Little windscreen wiper. We'll come back to this a few times today. But for now, you can just let that be lazy. Knees drop from side to side. Now, you have some blocks behind you. And I'd like you to gather them and just take them to the top of your mat here. And we're going to use one of them now. Yeah, so you can have a little watch for me first. This is a little bit of a functional mobility thing. If you've done core power with me, there's a similar version of it, but we're going to keep our back still today. So I'm going to show you it. What we're going to do is take that block and squeeze it in between our feet. Don't worry. It's like, oh no, the core stuff's coming back. Not today. We're going to take our hands somewhere behind us nice and stable, or you can even come to the fingertips so that we can lengthen the spine. Imagine that spine is now frozen. It's not going to move. I'm going to lift my feet up off of the mat and extend that block away from me. Take a breath in. And my breath out is just to slowly see how much I can bring that block close to me. So I'm really just using my hip flexors. I can really balance on my hands. So it's not that horrible core version today. We're just isolating the hips. So extension and bringing it in. And we'll do that together really slowly. So let's place the block in between our feet. Take your hands somewhere behind you or to your sides that you feel like you're supported by them. You can even come to fingertips. And then let's really slowly extend that block out in front of us. Take a breath in. Breath out. Let's see if we can bring that block to us. Inhale, we'll extend it. Keep that back where it is. Exhale, bring it in. You can imagine that block is something you really want to bring to you. Inhale. Exhale, bring it in. We'll do one more. Beautiful. Exhale, bring it in. You probably feel that little spiciness in the hips there. A bit more specific today. Now we're going to take that block and pop it in between our thighs, just below our knees, this way. And place our feet onto the mat. This time our hands can come behind us with the fingertips pointing towards the bottom of the mat. We're going to take a breath in. On your breath out, press your feet into your mat. We're going to lift our pelvis up nice and slowly into a reverse tabletop. Keep your head in line with your spine today. So looking up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your bottom a little bit. Let's take 3 rounds of breath here. Feeling that powerhouse of the pelvis. And all of those muscles that support it. Then just really small movement. See if you can pulse the hips up towards the sky. For 10, 9, really tiny. 8, 7, 6, 5, really nice. 4, 3, 2, squeeze that block. 1, take a breath in. Breath out, we're going to curve the spine. Lower your pelvis down towards the mat. We can remove that block and take it off to the side. And for a moment, let's just hug the spine the opposite way. And drop the head between the knees. If that felt a little bit stiff in your wrists, you can even take a few of those wrist rolls here again, or clenching of fists. You can be intuitive with that. Now we're going back towards a bridge again. So return those hands somewhere behind you, fingertips pointing towards that top edge of your mat. But this time, we're going to take our right ankle and cross it over our left. Kind of like we're sitting. Yeah. Now let's open out that right knee, like we want to press it down to the bottom of the mat. We'll take a big breath in. On your breath out, lift your pelvis, push your hands, push that foot, and send the pelvis up to the sky, just like we did with the block. It will feel a little different now. Squeeze that left foot down into your mat. Let's take 3 breaths. Super nice. Last inhale. Now let's take a last breath to see if we can open the pelvis a little bit more to the sky. Squeeze your bum. Exhale, soften the spine, tuck your chin to your chest, drop your pelvis down. We'll stay here with that ankle tucked for now, and you can take a little sway of that figure of 4 from side to side. Now we all have very different bodies. So if this feels like enough, stay as you are. Or you can actually walk your hands closer and bring that left foot in closer. And you might feel more of a little something around here. Yeah. And for a moment, let's find some stillness. Stop the rocking motion. Let's lengthen the chest. Open the heart space up a little bit towards the sky. Take a breath. Breath. Let's release that and swap over. So taking our left ankle over on top of our right, finding that figure of 4. Take a moment if you need to, if your hands are feeling a little bit tired, to take some movement or flex your wrists. Then placing the hands on the mat, fingertips pointing back. Spread your toes, press them into the mat. Open that knee, breath in. Breath out, opening up, lifting the pelvis up towards the sky. Keeping that focus up there to the ceiling too. That right bum cheek is your powerhouse support system right now. Engage it. Let's take 3 more breaths. Gorgeous. On this next inhale, could you lift that bum a little bit higher? Exhale, very slowly land that bum down towards the mat. And once again, you can start that nice rocking from side to side. If you want to increase that sensation for your body, you can walk your fingers closer to your leg, maybe even bring that right foot in closer. So go to where it feels nice. Let's keep opening that left knee though. Keep that knee active. Yeah. Stop that rocking motion in the center there. Let's open the heart space up towards the sky, lengthen the spine, the crown of the head for a few breaths. Breath in. Breath out. Beautiful stuff. Release. We're going to go back to those windscreen wipers we did earlier. So we're going to place our feet on the mat, take them a little bit wider, and drop your knees over to one side. So we've kind of reached a right angle of the knees there, like a deer pose. And we're going to move from that to that on the other side. You can use your fingers. Bring your knees across the center. And then open your hips, let those knees fall down. You can be really slow about it. And then if we can, see if you can start walking your fingertips a little bit closer to you as you do that. So we're starting to balance onto the sit bones. And if you want to try something a little bit strengthening, see if you can take the hands to Anjali Mudra and keep that windscreen wipering going. You might need to slow down and really think about that. Flexing the feet helps you get a little bit of traction on your mat. Yeah, really great. Nice. It's tough. Yeah, and sitting nice and tall when you arrive in that deer pose. Yes. Now, the next time that our knees come over to the right, let's stay there and stop the motion. So we're sitting in our deer pose. We're going to lengthen our spine. Have a little look at that back foot for me for a moment. What we're going to try and do is flex the foot and see if you can lift the foot off of the mat. All of this area is now gone engaged. Let's do that a few times. Lowering and lifting. It's tough, it is tough. But happy hips are strong hips. Maybe not crampy hips. Yeah. Now, together, the next time you lift that foot, see if we can keep it lifted for a few breaths. Lengthen the spine. If you're leaning forward, try and bring that crown of the head a little bit more towards the sky. Let's take a breath in. Breath out. Last breath in. Breath out, gently lower that down. Beautiful. We can go back to that shifting from side to side. Keeping those hands pushed together. This is also great for taking in the view. You can have a look all the way from one window and all the way to the other. And the next time our knees fall over to the left side, let's stop and meet there. You can readjust if you need to. Lengthening up the spine. Have a little look towards that back foot. See if you can see it. And then lift it off of the mat and press it back down. Like a mermaid's tail. Lifting it and pressing it back down. Keeping that spine lengthened. Pressing it back down. Once again, the next time we lift it, let's see if we can keep it there. It might shake, it might wobble. Let's take a breath in. Breath out. If you're leaning forward, try and lean back a little bit. Breath in. Breath out. Beautiful. Drop that heel. You can take your legs around behind you. Come and meet me in a tabletop. But let's take our hands mat width apart and our knees mat width apart too. And we'll take some cat-cows, but with a little focus on the pelvis. So I want you to really think about that tailbone when we drop the belly down. The tailbone is going to go up towards the sky. We can open the chest. And on the exhale, tuck that tailbone under, round the spine. Touch your chin towards your chest. Let's keep going with that. You can even close down your eyes. You can really focus on that pelvis, tucking under there, like you have a tail. And it feels really natural too. So we are going to start to allow that to become a bit more free movement. You can really let it be led by the pelvis, and then your middle back, lower back, upper back, head, neck, sides of the waist. Do not worry about what it looks like, but just enjoy moving your body freely in this tabletop, anywhere that feels nice. We're so fortunate enough to have super unique bodies to each other. And they all want to move in a slightly different way. So enjoy a bit of playtime for a moment, whatever that feels like to you. And as you take that free movement, we'll slow down the motion, gather your hands so that they're underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips now. We'll tuck the back toes, take a breath in. Breath out, we're gonna lift the pelvis up and back towards the sky into downward facing dog. And I always say it, but take a moment to say hi to downward dog. It can be really nice to bend one knee, bend the other, walk through your feet, spread your toes, maybe even move your hands. Yeah, lovely. Anything that maybe makes downward dog a bit more familiar tonight? Or brings you some sensation? Lovely, really nice, yeah. And together, let's settle into a bit of stillness in that downward dog. Remember, it is yours. So if it feels nice to keep a little bend in the knees, you can. Let's think about pressing the pelvis up and back. Maybe thinking about the heels coming towards the earth. Let's find 3 breaths just for still and for quiet. Then what can feel lovely is to take your whole pelvis and like a pendulum, sway it side to side. Your greater trochanter hiding on that outside edge of your bum. Feels really nice. Just sway the pelvis in that direction, side to side. Swaying motion might have started to lift your feet a little bit from the mat. You can really allow that. Because we're going to start to bend the knees and take some steps up the mat, as many as you like. Take a walk all the way to the top of your mat in a forward fold. And today, I'd love if we could have the feet somewhere underneath the hip bones rather than together in forward fold. And really just let your torso hang out. You can keep that soft bend in your knees or move towards a lengthening. But love this moment. It's so rare that we hang upside down, and it's fantastic for that kind of decompression of the spine. It feels great to just hang in the structure of your body, being suspended by your skeleton. You can give your head a loose nod like you're saying yes. Maybe a little shake side to side like you're saying no. You can play with taking opposite elbows and swaying the whole torso side to side, blowing in the breeze. That's lovely. And your blocks are somewhere nearby. So maybe as you're swaying, you can gather those blocks for me and take them just off the front edge of your mat. so that we can rest our hands onto them. We're going to take a few little bends and lengthens of the knees. You take that to the degree that feels nice for you, but keep your feet firmly planted onto that mat. So taking a little bend of the knees, you can lift the chest, little squat. And on your exhale, tip your weight forward. You can use those blocks and go to a place where you find a bit of nourishing length in the back of the legs. So nothing that feels painful or sharp. You can just keep going with that for a moment. Inhaling to bend, exhaling to lengthen. Now, we have another little functional mobility yoga exercise coming up. So, we feel that these blocks are our support system. We're really going to use them. Keeping the palms on the top of them, know that they're always there to support your weight. We're going to lengthen our legs, lengthen our arms. We're in a little Ardha Uttanasana there, a little halfway lift. We're going to plant the right foot down into the mat and start to bring the left toes back into a warrior three, like you're pushing a button with your toes behind you. Yeah. Now, right now, our pelvis, both hip bones are facing the mat. We're going to do a tiny little movement again, but it will feel quite a lot, to move between this, that warrior three, keeping our hands on our blocks, but just opening our pelvis towards a kind of half moo. So like we want to open up that left hip bone, and then turn it back to face the mat. So it's very, very small movement. We're going to keep repeating it a few times. See if you can keep that left leg lifted and extending in that warrior three. The left hip opens. And then it turns back to face the mat. Yes. Beautiful. If that's feeling a lot on the back of the leg, you can always keep a soft bend in that standing leg. If the breath has fallen silent in you, re-find it. It's going to help you. It's going to energize you. Let's just open and close about 3 more times. You might be feeling that little bit of heat building now. Lovely breath, really nice. Last time. Turn that pelvis back down to the mat. We'll lower the left leg down, back towards that forward fold. Take a big bend in the knees, and you can just let your whole torso land over that curve and just rest on your thighs for a moment. It's a strong one. It's a spicy one. We do have 2 sides, I'm afraid. Otherwise, we'll be very, very uneven tomorrow. But take a moment, maybe shift your pelvis side to side again. You can play with lengthening and bending the legs. You will intuitively know what feels good to have a little move after that. And then when you're ready, let's meet together, pressing the hands onto the blocks and finding that halfway lift, that Ardha Uttanasana with our blocks to begin with. And this time, spread the left toes, press the left foot into the mat. We're going to extend the right leg back towards that warrior three, like you're trying to push a button with your toes behind you. So finding some gorgeous energetic length there. And then we'll start to open up that right hip bone. And very slowly turning it back down to face the mat. Yes, exactly. So the pelvis is opening to the side, whoop, little half moon, and then closing back down. And you can be super slow motion about that. It's a very tiny movement, but it gives big sensation there, very strengthening. If you can, as a little added bit of information, keep your spine energized, keeping that spine long, your chest lifted ever so slightly. Let's just try and see if we can do 3 more of those slow motion opening and closing of the pelvis. 1. Gorgeous breath. 2. Last one. 3. And bring that foot very slowly back down towards your forward fold. You can release from your blocks Fall back to that forward fold for a moment, maybe bending through the knees, maybe having a sway. Then let's melt from the knees, press the hands into the mat, step back to your downward facing dog. And that swaying of the pelvis, that pendulum movement we just did, might feel extra good now. Side to side, yeah, great. So that whole pelvis shifting like a pendulum, side to side, yeah. Come to stillness in that downward dog. We'll take a breath in. And a breath out to come to the balls of the feet, lower the knees down towards the mat. We're going to take our feet together and our knees wide and start to melt your pelvis back towards a wide knee child's pose. If that doesn't suit you, you know you can bring your knees a little bit further underneath your belly. If that feels okay. And enjoy that little opening on the inner thighs. Feel the sneeze coming. Beautiful. This is a nice moment to notice the aliveness of your body. Even with those little minute movements, you might notice your temperature has risen. You might feel your heart beat a little bit faster. That prana, that energy, that aliveness of you, it's a fantastic thing to feel and appreciate. And feeling that breath moving through your body still, even when we come to stillness. We're going to begin to slow it down towards a little bit more of mobility and nourishing stretches for the body. So when you're ready, let's start with a breath in and a breath out to use those nice strong hands to press them into the mat, walk them towards you. You can guide your knees together. We'll sit off onto our bum and bring our legs around in front of us. Yeah, you can really take your time between these postures. Now, we're heading towards a little bit of play with shoelace pose. What I want to tell you about this asana and what we'll do today is I want you to imagine we are all on a train journey. And so I might get off at one stop, you might get off at the next stop. Maybe tomorrow you'll go the whole journey. It really depends, okay? So I don't want you to see these options as anything to do with advancement or yoga or what you should be doing. It just might not be the right stop for you today, okay? So have a little feel of your body, see how it feels, make the right decisions for you. We're going to start by lengthening the legs. Then we'll bend this right knee and take the foot and place it over the other side of our left leg. That is already a perfect stop to stay in, okay? If you would like, you can bend your left knee and tuck that in at the other side, piling those knees on top of each other. You can bring your right foot a little bit further across if you like to find that full knee pile if that suits you too. And we're just going to start there in stillness. You can bring the hands back to that Anjali Mudra we visited today and close down your eyes. Take a moment to notice this posture, to feel its sensations in your body and what it might already be giving to you. We're going to explore it in a few ways. So, this might feel like great sensation for you. And if it is, this might be your stop today. Or you can split the hands now. Take your fingertips somewhere down beside you. And just like we did in that cobbler's pose, we're going to lengthen the spine. Inhale. And exhale to just bring our chest a little bit further forward, like you're looking over the top of something. You can even drop the back of the neck if you wish. but it's very subtle. A little bit of lengthening in the side of that right hip you might feel. Let's take a few breaths there. Over time, you might find that heart space sinking a little further forward. You can even walk your fingertips a little bit further round and forward on your mat. Then on a nice soft exhale, I want you to uncurl your spine again. Now, once again, this might be a great time for you to rest in Anjali Mudra or even untuck that left leg. Or we're going to take the right fingertips down beside us. And inhale, we're going to lengthen the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, you might find a little side bend towards that supporting hand, lengthening away from the left hip this time. You can take that to where you need to. If, like me, you're caterpilling your hand further out to find the sensation that's juicy for you, then please do. You can be very intuitive about this stuff. It's very much yours. Once again, let's fill that with breath. Relax your jaw and your mouth. If you wriggled your hand out like I did, wriggle it back in. We're going to keep that left arm extended up to the sky. Remember, any of these can be revisited or even just sitting up tall in that Anjali Mudra. Or a last little play moment here is that we can bend that left elbow and let's tuck it in by the right knee. You can take that left hand as a palm, the right hand as a fist. Little palm to fist mudra, and you can press into that space to twist the heart space, maybe even your drishti, towards the sky. Yes, that looks great. Lovely. There's so many stops on the way there. So if you just want to hook that elbow and extend that left arm, you can. Or finding that little twist. And in that gorgeous rotation, keep lengthening the breath. Softening anywhere you can, the face, the throat. Take a breath in. Breath that you can release the fist palm mudra. And let's turn our torso back towards the center. Take our fingertips behind us. And we're going to take that left foot out and extend it first. Slow motion, kind to your body, untuck that right ankle. Flex your feet. And then make them wave at me. Yeah. Turn the legs in and out for a moment. You can have a little play and explore there. Now, the body is not equal, not symmetrical in any way, so remember that these are all stops that you can get off at today, and it might be super different from the other side. It might be something else you need this time. But we're going to treat that with the same care and curiosity. So we're going to first bend up that left knee. We'll place the foot on the other side of the right leg, and that might already be great sensation for you. You can always come back to lengthening that right leg. Or you can shift onto your right butt cheek And bend your right knee and hook that underneath. You might want to pile the knees on top of each other a little more and find that shoelace pose. And find your sit bones onto that mat. Beautiful. We're going to lengthen up the spine. Find that Anjali Mudra. Close down your eyes. Taking that moment to find your center, that center of yourself, experiencing yourself in this present moment, and noticing all the glorious sensations that this asana already brings before we play with it. And if you'd like, you can stay here in this peaceful stillness with your mudra at your chest, or you can split your hands, allow your fingertips to find the sides of the mat, and start to lower your heart space just a little bit over your knees. You can gradually increase that over time. You don't have to shock yourself and go somewhere really far. Start somewhere nice. Seek out what feels nourishing and live in that asana. Even though we are still, that breath is persistently moving, living through us. Maybe as that sensation becomes more familiar, you might feel that heart space melting down towards your knees a little bit more. And we'll take a breath in. And an exhale to say goodbye to that version for now, using your fingertips, uncurling your spine and finding that nice tall length, the crown of the head, refinding the ceiling. Then remember, you can always revisit either of those two, or you can take your left fingertips beside you. We'll take a big inhale to lengthen that right onto the sky. On your exhale, taking a side bend towards your left hand. Again, you can walk your fingertips out a little bit further if that's something you need, but don't chase something uncomfortable. Yeah. That's really nice. Use the breath. Moving slow motion, wriggling that hand back in if you extended it out a little bit further. We'll send that right arm back up towards the sky. And if you're coming with me for this one, we'll bend the right elbow, nestle it in over that left knee. And that might be enough. Or you can flex that right hand, take a little fist to palm mudra, the elbow up, and press. To turn that heart space and your drishti maybe ever so slightly more towards the ceiling, the sky. You can close down your eyes and maybe imagine blue sky above you. Let that breath live through your asana. So find where it is for you. And then breathe in it, live in it. Yes. This hand down. Keep your elbows. Just push the hands. Yeah, feel this here. That's gorgeous stuff. With the utmost care, leaving it, take a breath in. Breath out, release that fist to palm. You can guide your torso around to the center, unwinding. Let's take those fingertips back first. We can lean back on our sit bones and extend that right leg. Uncross that shoelace. Flex your feet and have a little wave at me with them for a moment. Maybe taking circles. Beautiful. I'd like you to take your bolster around beside you. Those blocks aren't needed anymore. You can leave them where you are, or if they're in your way, just move them to the sides. And let's start to roll down onto our backs with our knees bent. Take our feet mat width distance apart for a moment and allow the knees to fall in towards each other. If they're not quite managing to rest against each other, you can walk your feet in a little bit closer on the mat. And rest your arms wherever feels good. Maybe out by your sides, palms facing up, or resting the hands on the belly. Closing down the eyes. And maybe noticing the echo or memory of those last asana. They give big sensation, strong, that can linger for a while. Notice any tingling or changes or space. And let's do the opposite of this closed hip feeling. We're going to start to walk the feet in together on the mat until you can take the soles of your feet to touch, like we did earlier this evening. Then allow your knees to very gently, slowly open like a book until you can just switch off and allow them to just hang open there. Now, if that feels like an uncomfortable amount of sensation for you, you can give me a little gentle wave. I will come over and assist you with some blocks there. If that feels good as is in its simplicity, close down your eyes. Remember, you have freedom of those arms. It can feel really nice to take them up over your head and open your armpits. Allow the palms of your hands to start to find the underside of your thighs. And just use those hands to assist you as you close the knees very slowly, closing that book. You can bring your feet a little bit further apart again and revisit that windscreen wiper motion that we did earlier in slow motion, lying on your back, letting your knees drop over from one side and to the other. You might even want to pause on one side for a little bit longer. And as your knees find the center, stop the motion. Press your feet into your mat to lift your pelvis up just enough that you can grab that bolster and slide it underneath your pelvis. So it's catching that whole heavy bowl that is your bum, your tailbone. Now it might feel good to stay exactly as you are, or you can lengthen the legs, bringing the feet down to the bottom of the mat, indulging in that nice big opening at the front of the hips, the front of the body. Close down your eyes. We're going to take about 10 last rounds of breath here. It can feel lovely to inflate that torso like a balloon, and each exhale might be a chance to just soften somewhere that maybe we don't need anymore. Behind the eyes, the space between the eyebrows, the tongue in the mouth, and the jaw. And take your time to soften behind the knees if your legs are lengthened. Bend them and start to step your feet back onto the mat. And for the last time, press your feet into the mat. And you can use your hands to move that bolster down underneath your knees now, lengthening your legs over the top there. You have an eye mask somewhere around your head right now that you're welcome to grab and place over your eyes for a bit of extra weight and darkness in this Shavasana. But know that you can make any little adjustments, wriggles, movements that you need. Until you find yourself back at a place of stillness and quiet in the body, in the mind. And know that you've reached a place that is your private peaceful. You can surrender to one of these rare moments in life that is just for peace, for stillness, maybe just rest or meditation. Meditation I'd love to offer you this evening is to think about your amazing body. It is your home throughout your life. It recovers each time we maybe push it a little too far. Sometimes we often aren't very kind to it with our words. Yet here it is, recovering, repairing, taking care of you. And is capable of all of that magic movement you just did this evening. So maybe a nice meditation to carry you into your Shavasana is warm gratitude for your wonderful, healthy body. Shavasana. If this evening that wonderful healthy body is calling out for more time in this rest, please know you are so welcome to stay here and close your practice in your own time. If you are ready to close it with me, we'll begin by lengthening the breath. Maybe allowing that life, that breath to spread into our body, allowing us to make movements of the fingers, the toes, the ankles, the wrists, Maybe even rocking your head from side to side. If you'd like to, you can join me in taking a full body stretch, reaching the arms up over the head, all the way from fingers to toes over that bolster. And whenever you are ready, find yourself on one side of your body. You can use your feet just to gently shift the bolster down your mat and out of your way. And with no rush, with all that kindness and love to your physical body, keep your eyes closed and just press your hands into the earth. Guide yourself back up until you come towards a comfortable seat for you. You are welcome to maybe rest your hands on your knees, your thighs, or come back to that Anjali Mudra that we've been with a few times this evening. And we'll take these final moments with all gratitude and respect to yoga, all the styles we borrowed from tonight and the cultures that it comes from. We'll close off our practice with a final moment that is just for you, with your eyes closed. To maybe allow that warm gratitude we felt for our bodies to spread out and find something in your day-to-day that you could be really grateful for. A moment, a person, maybe something that made you laugh. You can even allow that gratitude, like a warmth spreading, to fill you up now. And I'd love if we could extend it out to this beautiful place and country we are currently in. All the people in it who I'm sure are making you feel so, so welcome. And to the gorgeous evening I know you will have ahead of you here. Maybe there's a way we can keep loving our body, making nourishing choices for us as we head into that evening. Together, finally, let's take a long breath in through the belly, the ribs, into your heart space. Let it go through the mouth. And just bow your head forward as a gesture of respect to you and to everyone else also. And with that, our practice has come to a close. There's never any rush to open your eyes or to leave this room. But thank you so much for joining me this evening.